Hello, everybody. And hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Her Hoop Stats Podcast Network. I am Christy Winter Scott, joined by my girl, Cindy Brunson. Cindy, listen, we have not begun the regular season for the 30th. Oh my gosh, the 30th year for the WNBA yet, but there have been some preseason games except for the Toronto Tempo. They play tonight, which is Wednesday if you're watching at a different time. But Wednesday night is the first time the Tempo will take the court against the Connecticut Sun. And wow, Cindy, what has stood out to you storyline wise, hooping wise, since the beginning of the preseason? And everyone, like I said, besides the Tempo, playing a preseason game so far.
Heck yeah. I've got my 30 t-shirt on.
Oh,
WNBA
let's
13.
go. Fair.
Yes.
Bet on
You know
women.
me.
I got to bet on women today.
Listen, I will buy some merch. If you make it, I am your consumer. So there you go.
Purchase.
Right? So just so
Love it.
thrilled. You know, there were so many times, you know, after year 5, after year 10, after year 15, where things got sus. And is this thing going to make it? And so the fact that we're here, we're still growing this thing, but celebrating 30 years of excellence, the longest successful women's professional league in the United States. Credit to everybody involved to this juncture, all of the foundational pieces back in the day, soup to nuts, flowers everywhere. That being said, to your question, the thing that jumped out at me in watching initially is the defending champion Aces messed around and got better.
About that.
The Kennedy Carter piece, she is box office. You have got to have a player that can get downhill when you are trying to create space for the fulcrum of your offense in 4-time WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson. So who do you guard? Do you guard Carter? Do you guard Jackie? Jewel is going to come off the bench. The point guard, Chelsea Gray, is, driving the car. Like, come on, get your popcorn ready. And I know Becky has what she wants, right? You look at that list of training camp invitees and it's snug. They know what they want. I would also say keep an eye on Kirsten Bell.
Okay.
She was fantastic in season 5 of Athletes Unlimited and season 4 as well. She is ready for an increased role and some more scoring opportunity, and she will meet the moment.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And speaking of meeting the moment, I mean, Kennedy Carter, they call her Hollywood for a reason. I mean, she's meeting the moment, and she may be in Vegas, but I mean, she has Hollywood scripted all over her story right now. And I'm rooting for her. And you have to understand her journey to understand where she is right now and how she is approaching the opportunity to be in the training camp in Las Vegas. And hearing from her and her pressers and hearing from A'ja, they just had their media day yesterday, I believe. And, she's just saying, I'm soaking it all in. I have all these Olympians and champions around me. I have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I'm listening. I am soaking in all the info and absorbing all the info as she should, right? But not only is she doing that, to your point, she's executing on the court. And I think Becky Hammon is thrilled to have her in camp, not necessarily just to, see how much she can learn, but to see how she can execute what she is learning along the way and what she was able to execute in the WNBA already. Like, this isn't her first rodeo with the WNBA. I mean, there's been a little gap here, but she has professional experience. She's played overseas professionally. So, I mean, this is just another opportunity to put her in an environment of winners. And now she's ready to take that next step. And I'm excited about, seeing how she's going to fit into how Becky Hammon and her style of play for the team. But for me, I think it's going to be seamless because she's a dog. So that's easy right there. That checks like the first 5 boxes right there. Are you a dog? Can you compete? Will you run through a wall and check? Like she's a killer, and she's going to go in there and get the job done.
And to your point, for Becky in particular, you have to be a two-way player. You can't be a one-trick pony. You can't be all about the offense. You have to dig in and defend. And Kennedy is a live ball turnover waiting to happen. She will go pick your pocket and
Yes.
smile all the way down to the other basket and score
We
that
don't.
ball. Like, she loves that.
Yeah, no, and I love that for her too. And to Belle, her point, with being
Mhm,
just coming off the bench for the Aces, but really gaining this off-season experience in the Unrivaled. You said right, the
mhm.
last couple of
And
years.
and
Oh,
Athletes Unlimited. Yeah.
Athletes Unlimited, pardon me.
Mhm,
But during the off season, just having those experiences, I mean, that only helps. And we've seen that across the board with a lot of pros in the WNBA playing overseas and playing in the off season against and with one another. I think there's a lot to be said for that. But for the Aces, I mean, other than their core unit having yet another championship, 3 of the last 4 seasons for the Aces,
Dynasty.
how else have they gotten better? Like, what is it, do you feel, if we're looking at this at the All-Star break this year, like, let's just
Mhm.
prognosticate forward a bit.
Okay.
What is going to be better about this team, do you forecast?
Cheyenne Parker Tyus back,
Okay.
hungry. She came back at the end of last season, right after giving
Yeah.
birth. So real tight maternity turn for her.
Mhm.
But now she's had a full off season and she looks amazing. And
Oh,
she's got something to
fantastic.
prove, right?
Yeah.
Atlanta didn't want to have her be part of their plans to chase chips with Rye. They said, no, we're good. We got another option. And so I think the ginormous boulder on her shoulder and all of her ability is going to pay dividends for Las Vegas big time.
I'm excited to see, Chelsea Gray on the floor. I know that
Mhm.
she's taken Kennedy Carter under her wing, being in that same position. So, yes, all of the other ones, Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, everybody, obviously in her ear. But for a player like Chelsea Gray to be in your ear and just dissecting and saying, when she comes up here defensively, you do this, A, B, and C. I mean, like, right? Like, how
Mhm.
exciting is that? For Kennedy Carter to have that kind of expertise coming at her every possession in practice and then in games as well.
Oh, 100%. Gray already has a chip on her shoulder too. Remember, everybody said she was washed, quote unquote, on the socials at the beginning of last season. She's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, wait a minute. All she did was go ahead and lead Las Vegas to another title.
How
She
about that?
won the one-on-one competition in Unrivaled too. Like, she is, if there is a bag to chase, and that is
Yeah.
the goal, winning, Chelsea
Yeah.
is the person you want with the ball in her hand,
No
and
doubt.
she is trusted so much by the organization. It'll be late game
Yes.
situations, and it will
Yeah.
be Becky handing Chelsea the clipboard. "What do you
Yeah.
see? Draw it up." And Chelsea's right in there. So,
Yes.
all Kennedy has to do, to your point, is be a
Yeah.
sponge. She
Yeah.
is in the perfect
Yeah.
lab to get better, and we're also going to see an evolved Nalissa Smith. She's
Yes.
been in that organization now heading
Yeah.
into the second season. She's already got the championship, and
Right.
she has gotten so much better about trusting herself and her
Right.
abilities just by being in close proximity to the one with the A1s that are coming out in early May. I'm already broke. The
So
season
good.
hasn't started, and I'm already broke as a joke. Like, it is bananas.
Oh,
All of the
yeah.
shoes that I wanna get, all of the
Yeah.
things. But this is
Yeah.
how Asia Wilson is moving in this space, right?
Yeah.
She's not
Yeah.
just
And she
about
should.
winning, she's
No.
about building an empire. And
Yes.
most importantly, bringing those in her circle with her. And
Absolutely.
it's just been so beautiful to watch.
Oh, no doubt. And the feet heat, I mean, that speaks for itself. We already understand what the
Mhm.
A1s are going to look like coming
Yes.
out at the beginning of the season. But, I just love the fact that she is just capitalizing on the opportunities, and being creative, like in her
Mhm.
own space to come up with colorways. And speaking of colorways, her hair,
Woo!
impeccable. They had the Beyonce fan going for her. I was like, oh, they got the
Yes.
fan going. And she was in the moment and the vibe, and the orange was just off the charts. So I just love that she's such a free spirit, but because she is herself genuinely, everyone else
Mhm.
around her is able to be their genuine selves as well. So she brings out winning. Like she's a winner. So now
Yep.
because she brings out this genuine, joyful spirit, everyone else is like, wow, I can just take my jacket off in here and just be comfortable and be
Mhm.
myself, right? And it
Mhm.
may not be as loquacious or whatever as like Jackie Young's not going to be the same way, right? As
Right.
Asia Wilson, she's kind of more low key, but still
No,
she's
she's
going to
the
bring
silent
some.
assassin for a reason.
She don't come out there and crack foreheads. Like she's gonna go out there and get the job done and
Yeah.
compete and win. So I just think she just brings that level of not just expectation but accountability because she brings it to herself first. So the integrity behind the approach to the game that Asia Wilson has continued to bring, and just winning begets winning. So when you have a
Mhm.
winning mentality, you can't come in here with anything less than that, right? You walk
Yeah.
onto the bus, you walk onto the plane, you walk into the practice, arena, you walk into the locker room. You better have a winning mentality attached to you, or you're going to be exposed, right? And I
Yes.
think, and in a great way, like you got to meet us here. We're not coming below, right? You got to
Mm-mm.
come in here and meet us here in this winning environment with this winning mentality. But it starts with Asia Wilson because of that.
And trust. She is seeing all
Trust.
of these prognostications that
Yeah.
don't have her winning MVP.
Wow. She loves that
It's
though.
like
Hey,
everybody just keeps poking the bear. Like, don't
keep doing that.
doesn't
It's okay.
anybody pay attention or learn? She only needs
It's all
like
right.
you build a fire, right? You need kindling. The kindling she needs to light her fire is the size of a toothpick. And if you are going to have the gumption, the absolute gall to say, no,
Yeah.
the person that's the
Come
first
on, man.
ever 4-time MVP is not the favorite to win it again. You are
Bizarre.
just inviting her
Yeah.
to overachieve
It's okay.
again.
That's okay. But for her,
Yeah.
it's not overachievement. For her, that's like this is
Oh,
what
for
I'm
sure.
gonna
It's a
bring, and
sphere.
you're gonna. It's overachieving for the people who are doubting her for sure. But for
Yes.
her, she's like, I already know what this is. I already know what it is.
Yep.
She has already been underestimated. From I saw
Yeah.
those little documentaries from when she was in middle school and things like that. Dawn
Mhm.
Staley talking about her and how she really had to carve her own way when she was at South
Yeah.
Carolina, won that championship, and then her statue. I mean, all of these things have happened because she has been undervalued in terms of what she has been able to accomplish truly, right? We've seen what
Mhm.
she's been able to accomplish, but she has, I don't want to say overachieved because I think she's always believed.
Mhm.
I think Asia Wilson has always believed that she had it in her to do. And that's why
Yeah.
she's been able to dream and accomplish those dreams. But I mean, I wonder if asking Asia Wilson, and maybe someone can send this little clip to her, but
Mhm.
if you would ask her like at 10 or 11, could you have foreseen all the things that have transpired because of basketball? And I would love to hear what she had to say about that, just because, I mean, yes, you have these grandiose ideas. Yes, you think, you can go to college and win a championship. Can you be an Olympian? Can you win a gold medal or a few? Can you win a WNBA title or a few? Can you be an
Mhm.
MVP? Not just thrice, but 4 times. But, did you know that you had that kind of winning capability at 10, 11 years old? Because
Mm.
I would like to hear her answer to that. And maybe she's answered it in other realms or other spaces, media wise. But it just is something that's very intriguing to me because maybe there's a 10 or 11-year-old. And maybe Asia Wilson's answer to that is no, I didn't, but I
Mm.
always believed that I could get better every day. And I almost feel like that would be her answer, just being around her and knowing how she
Yep.
thinks a little bit, and not exclusively, but a little bit. But I think that would, even with that truth, right? Of wow, it's just superseded what I could have ever imagined. But I always believed that I could win and be a winner. So I'm just really intrigued to see like what kind of answer she would give. What kind of answer do you think she would give to that?
I would be very curious to hear it myself because what she is doing is setting up the next generation
That
to
part.
see her be her, right? Because we know
Yes.
Stewie had the goal of a four-peat when she got to Connecticut because Diana preceded her and won 3 out of 4.
There
So
you
she's
go.
like, I can do better. So everything
NBA.
that Asia is putting down, somebody else coming up behind her
Yeah.
can pick up. And I
Yeah.
think that's where her true superpower is. Not
Yeah.
only is she dominating in the moment,
Yeah.
she is laying the groundwork for somebody to come behind her and even exceed her accomplishments. Like you listen to Cheryl Swoops just swoon over Asia, finally
Yeah.
coming up and breaking her record that she had forever, along with Lauren Jackson and Lisa Leslie, as 3-time MVPs in the league, right?
Right. Right.
And Swoop was like, I've been waiting. I figured it might
Yeah.
happen. I didn't know, but look
Yeah.
how long ago I completed my three-peat. Look how
Yeah.
long it's been in the gap of time since Lauren Jackson did it.
Yeah.
And now here's Asia doing it over and over. So I think more important, big picture, from 30,000 feet, what Asia is telling the next generation of hoopers is
Yes.
here's the bar. Now you know where to start. And that's amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's so profoundly stated because that's exactly, why all of these players in the league are performing the way that they're performing. It's for the next level, it's for the next generation. But for Asia Wilson and her elite winning behavior, I
Mhm.
think is just definitely stellar and something that these young hoopers can model their game after, and not necessarily skill set. I mean, I have players that I looked up to, but I didn't play the same position. It's more of the spirit of
Yeah.
how they compete, the spirit of how they compete, how they come into the arena, the extra work that they put in, and then how they give back, right? The
Yeah.
selflessness off the court, the generosity, the happy tears in the eyes because they're able to do these really beautiful things to help others. I think that's what we need to see. That's why we love Asia Wilson. And that's why, to me, I'm just going to go ahead and say, to me, she is the MVP this year until someone proves otherwise. Like, that's where I'm
Yeah.
starting. Hey,
Yep.
and if it changes throughout the year, then so be it. But right now, I mean, it's hers to lose, in
Mhm.
my estimation. So I'm gonna go ahead and just be bold. And wow, look at me. Hey, BMAC, our great producer, BMAC, look at me being bold and standing 10 toes and not being like, I don't know. Like, I love this little chapter I'm in. Listen to me. Look, I'm standing on it. Asia Wilson for MVP. Early
Well,
on.
I
What
mean,
do you have one?
considering
Do you have
how
one?
well, I think Asia, it's her MVP award to lose, in my
Yeah.
estimation,
Yeah.
especially
Same.
what she's done over the last couple of seasons in
Yeah.
particular,
Yeah.
becoming the first
Yeah.
1,000-point single season scorer
Nuts.
and
Bananas.
not relying on a three-point shot to do it. That's, the
Yeah.
fact that the record had been broken
Yeah.
just the year before by Jewel Lloyd, almost
Right.
940 points, right? But she
Right.
shoots a high volume of 3, so that made sense. So for Asia to just shatter that record, and she didn't
Yeah.
need the extra games to do it in, she would have hit the mark in plenty of time, and she didn't even need
Yeah.
her three-point shots that she has added to her bag
Right.
to
Yeah.
hit that mark as well. So for me, she's the straw that stirs the drink in Vegas, and
Absolutely.
even though the whole world knows she's the fulcrum and everything runs through her, nobody's been
Yeah.
able to stop it. Like, the whole gym knew in
No.
Phoenix she was gonna get the
Oh,
ball.
Jim.
2
Right.
defenders from
Yeah.
the same household fly at her to try to stop her and could not.
Yeah.
Like,
To no avail. Yeah. Oh,
yes.
wow.
I
Wow.
mean, that is
It was the right
clutch. She's,
night time.
in my estimation, she is the face of the WNBA, and what a beautiful ambassador, right?
I
For this
mean,
game,
amazing.
for what it means in this season, in this seismic 30th season,
Yeah.
for everybody to be in lockstep, falling behind
Yeah.
Asia Wilson, I think is just beautiful.
Yeah, no doubt. And, it just makes you think. I know she has a statue outside of the arena there in South Carolina.
Mhm.
But they need to do another one somewhere for the WNBA. Hey, they need to put another
Yes.
one in Vegas. They need one in
It should
Vegas
be
now.
out front of the WNBA offices in New York. Like,
Yeah, somewhere. She's got to have another one.
something.
So,
Yeah.
let's
Yep.
let's lobby for that. Hey, get it. Age Wilson needs another statue. But the meaning behind the one in Carolina, because
Oh,
her grandmother couldn't walk the campus. She had to
yep.
go all the way around the outside, but then now her granddaughter's statue is there. I mean,
Mhm.
oh my God, that story just always gives tingles up the back of my neck.
Oh, for
But
sure.
I think she needs one for the WNBA too. Now,
Yeah,
anyway, but that's just
absolutely.
me.
Yeah,
Grandiose
no, I'm
thoughts I
right there
have.
with
It's
you. I
almost
don't
like
know how they would do it at Las Vegas. Oh,
yeah.
my bad.
Oh,
Let me just
who's
stop
that?
that phone
Beyonce
ringing.
calling you? You got
Oh, I
Beyonce
wish.
calling? Tell her to say
No,
hey.
listen, if Beyonce ever
Oh my
called
God.
me, I would probably pass out and not be able to answer, but,
Tell her I said
yeah, no.
hey.
Uh, yeah, I'm coordinating with a travel
Got two
agent
phones?
because during
Oh,
the
okay.
middle of the summer, I'm going to Tahiti for the first time,
Oh,
so there's
Tahiti.
I know, there's a lot of moving parts. My
Tahiti.
sister has organized this
Nice.
sailing deal, so yeah, so
Ooh.
my bad. That's just
Tea and
real life getting
Tahiti.
in the way. I know,
Oh,
I've
I know.
never
I
been.
love that.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God. But now we found out you have two phones. Okay, Cindy's got two phones. I need the other number. So I
right?
call you up.
2
Anyway.
phones.
You got two phones.
Woo! Gotta
I'm
have a
sorry.
backbone,
Hey
right?
man, listen. Don't get me giggling because I can't stop. Once I start giggling, I'm done. So, but
Okay.
no,
Well, while you
yo,
giggle,
come
let
on,
me
bring the
take this
next one.
time.
Bring the
Well,
next one.
we're 10 days away from the start of the season, and
Yes.
even though we have hit some wonderful markers, we've got new
Yeah.
television partners involved.
Yes.
There are so many
Yes.
different ways to watch, new
Yeah.
broadcasters, all of the things. I think
Right.
there's still some learning and teaching that needs to go on, especially with the newer fans. And I have a couple of book
Oh,
recommendations.
summer reading.
The first one is called Hoop Muses, and
Okay.
it
I
is
love that.
oh, an insider's guide to pulp culture and the women's game. Kate
Ah,
Fagan was the main
nice.
writer,
Nice.
but some of the illustrations and storytelling was done by Hall of
Mhm.
Famer Simone Augustus.
Oh, let's
And
go,
I
Moni.
was I know. I was lucky enough to have her sign my copy, so I'm super excited. But it's a
Baby.
great historical look at the
Yeah.
surge in particular in the last 5 years and the growth of the game, of course, the
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark phenomena, and it highlights all of the international players that were building
Yeah.
block, like Lauren
Yeah.
Jackson, like Penny Taylor. So it's
Right.
just a really fun and entertaining read, and then that was actually released a couple years ago. This latest
Oh,
one, now I know Emma has been on her Hoop Stats podcast, one of the
oh, pick
co-authors
up a little bit.
along with Jordan
Oh, that's
Robinson,
good.
but this book is called Court
Amazing.
Queens, and I cannot
Aha.
tell you how many pages I have,
Oh.
highlighted, underlined, and I love this game down. And I felt like my knowledge was, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably an 8, because I've just been a fan
Wow.
since day one. And
Yeah.
I'm learning things from this book, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is just so
Aw.
beautifully put together, and there's a lot of flowers being handed out and a lot of acknowledgement of what preceded even the WNBA and different pro basketball iterations in the country
Right.
where women were just trying to find a way to play. And I
Wow.
just love the historical look back so we can appreciate what we have now.
Right. Oh my God. No, I love that. And it's perfect timing. The weather is starting to heat up here in the East Coast anyway. But
Yep.
to you just have some summer reading throughout the season, right? You already have
Yes.
obviously gratitude for it being the 30th season of the WNBA, but to have it
Mhm.
documented, and you said everything there, but with Simone Augustus, she was the what did she was co-author, you said, of that? Or
She
she
is
did the
one of the curators.
illustrations.
She was one of the curators. So, like, they would do
Oh,
a
okay.
basketball story, and she would be like,
Oh,
"Well, no, this has to be in here, and don't forget that." And,
curator.
like, there's
Okay.
even a
It's an
chapter
illustrator.
because we all
Okay.
remember, Diana and Moni
Mhm.
back in the day, the
Yes.
kiss. Like, there's pages
Yeah.
dedicated to that.
Very
Like,
funny.
it's just hysterical.
That's funny.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
No, that's great stuff. Yeah.
yeah. It's
No,
super
you said
cool.
it's just what?
It's just so fun to
Yeah.
remember, because as a fan, I saw a lot of this happen live, and then to get some more background detail on it as well, just a chef's
Yes.
kiss. Cannot recommend it enough.
Oh, a bunch of other teams were on the move. We said Toronto's the only team that has not competed yet in a preseason contest, but everyone
Mhm.
else has. Like outside of Vegas, what other teams have stood out to you so far in the preseason? And I know, we haven't seen like the full complement of each team.
Right.
Some teams are still getting the players coming back from overseas and everything like
Mhm.
that. And then in the preseason games, you're not going to see, your top 8 players playing a copious amount of minutes.
Right.
So you are seeing like players trying to make rosters. But with
Mhm.
that being said, what kind of roster moves or not are teams planning to make?
Well, first off, Golden State. I love Kia Stokes in a Valkyries uniform. That seems to be such
Yeah.
a good fit early here
Yeah.
as we get set to tip off the regular season. And
Yeah.
Veronica Burton is doing Veronica Burton things. And if
That's
you
a
didn't
good one.
pay attention to Athletes Unlimited in this fifth iteration,
Yeah.
you missed Caitlin Chen deep in her Birkin, finding all the loose tic tacs at the bottom. Like Chen is here, and she is going
Right.
to be a big part of what Golden State is doing moving forward. And
Right.
I cannot wait to see what the reigning coach of the year in the league and Natalie Nakase draws up. She's got a
Okay.
lot of international players, but the
Does.
core
Mhm.
is Stokes and Burton and Chen, and they are going to wreck some folks. Like the
Yeah.
expectation you can tell for them is we are going to make the playoffs again. I don't know
Mhm.
how far we'll get, but we are a playoff team. That is where we're
Yeah.
starting this season. That's the mindset. And you could
Yeah.
feel it the first time they rolled out the basketballs. And I
Mhm.
was at opening night for their regular
Oh, okay.
season as a
Okay.
franchise last year. And
Right. I
the
remember that.
owner, yeah, the owner stood at center court and said, within 5 years, we're winning a title. Like just threw down the mic.
Like
So
that's it.
you can
Wow.
tell that aspirationally, that is how they are moving. That's how the
Right.
Valks are moving, and it's
Yeah.
palpable. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see how they follow up a fantastic freshman
Yeah.
season, if you will.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it just couldn't have
yes.
went any better. They led the league in home attendance. Nobody outdrew them at
Yeah.
home. And
Yes.
when you consider the other pieces that are in the league, that is very impressive. So, and they
No.
had 18,000 right off the bat in
Yeah.
their opener. So
Right.
for preseason. So yeah,
Preseason.
I'm curious to see how that pans out. I'm also have an eyebrow raised about what's going on in Phoenix. They have a
Okay.
lot of free agent money to spend because Satu didn't re-sign. They
She
signed
did.
a player, and I forget her name, for a $500,000, a player who was in the league in 2015 and then has played over in Europe ever since. So I'm getting a Rebecca Gardner kind of vibe from that.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but to throw a 500,000 at that one person means that they see something, right? That's way
Yeah.
above league minimum, all of the things.
Mhm.
But who else is going to help AT Cott and Dewana Bonner? So that I'm just and Westbeld has already been out,
Yeah.
listed out for the season with the
Got hurt.
ACL.
I
So that's an
know.
important
That was
piece.
hard. Yeah.
So I'm very curious. Every time I hear Coach Nate Tibbetts talk, everything is metrics and analytics.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, you need um, Alicia's and Susie's to shoot the basketball, right?
Yeah.
It's people
Yeah.
too. It's not just numbers. So I'm wondering about chemistry and all of those things. So they're kind of a question mark. Definitely for in my eyes, if you went to the finals, now you've put that expectation on the fans
Yeah.
that they
Right.
want to see that again. And I haven't seen them move in the off season to say, yes, we're going back to the finals. So
Right.
if they don't go deep in the playoffs, then
Mhm.
that's a drop off. So I'm curious just from that standpoint. And then Los Angeles is another team that has caught my
Mhm.
eye. Without Rakia Jackson, I wasn't
She
sure
got those.
what
Yes.
right what that would look like, but they look great.
Yeah. Yeah. I
The
mean, it's pace
guard,
control. They're pushing it.
yes,
Pushing it.
yes. Cam Brink
Mhm.
healthy to start the
Yes.
season. That's huge. Dearica Hamby. signed that massive contract. She opened up the
As
smoothie
she
bar in
should.
Vegas. Like,
As
I
she
just
should.
love, right? I love how
I
Hamby
love it.
is moving in this
Yeah.
universe.
Girl.
So yeah, I think Los Angeles could be really exciting. Tanaya
Yeah.
Latson is there. We know
Yeah.
what she can do. We saw her lead the country in scoring, right? At
I
Florida
know.
State.
Yeah.
We
She's a
know
killer.
she's a
Yeah.
bucket.
27 a
So,
game. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. If she decides to tap into that killer vibe, ooh, baby.
Yeah.
And then I'm curious about Dallas, number one overall pick,
Mhm.
Paige and AZ, back to back number one overall picks. We saw what that has meant win percentage wise for Indiana,
Mhm.
the last team to take back to back number ones. So I want to see the iteration under Coach Fernandez.
Great.
He obviously not new to women's basketball, but it's his first year in the WNBA. Like, I think
True.
in Atlanta, Carl Semesco is gonna be better because he's got a year
Yeah.
under his belt, right?
No
He
doubt.
did
Yeah.
it, he lived it, he understands it. I think
Yeah.
he'll approach managing minutes and those kind of things a little bit better, and then if health stays on the dream side, you talk about scary hours. Adding
Yeah.
the league's leading rebounder to a team that is full of
Yeah.
bucket getters. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. I
Yeah.
just, ooh, the
No.
dream of a championship could become reality in the ATL.
No, I love that, and happy birthday, Ryan Howard, yesterday, I believe. So, yeah, happy birthday, Ryan,
Yes, right.
down there with the Atlanta Dream. But just going back to the first team that you spoke
Mhm.
about with the Valkyries, right? And
Yes.
yes, they last year, their first season in the WNBA, sold out every single home game. I mean, the fandom there is tremendous.
Mhm.
Ducharme didn't stick. I know she was just released from the roster. I know
Mhm.
that they are guard heavy. And like you said, a lot of international players who can really perform in a lot of versatile ways along the
Mhm.
perimeter. So I'm really interested to see how they continue to dissect and unpack what they want their final roster to look like. In terms of pace of play, they want to get up and down the floor. We already know that. They want to defend. They want to lock down. They want to switch a lot defensively. So I'm excited, and so are the fans there. Apparently, with everyone showing up, and showing out to all the games. But then, like you said, in Phoenix, like what's the missing piece, right? You said West Bell just went down, unfortunately, with an injury. So prayers to her. I
Mhm.
hate injuries so much, and just nothing you can do
Mhm.
about it. But I hate injuries so much personally,
Yep.
and levels to that. But with that being said, I mean, Natasha Cloud. I mean, let's just say it out loud. I mean, it's the pink elephant. It's the pink elephant in the room, man. Like, and
Ooh.
there are
I don't
teams.
I don't
It's
see
been
Tosh. Yeah, I don't see Tosh going back to Phoenix.
why not?
I don't
Why not?
think word on the street, the welcome wagon wasn't quite right when she arrived, right? There was the whole miscommunication about the jersey number. She was told apparently that she would get number 9 and then didn't get number 9. And that's her brand, right? Cloud 9. I've called those games. Everything's fine on Cloud 9 for 3, whatever. So that didn't work. And then how she exited. She goes to the training facility to shoot a video to post on all the socials for herself and the team about how great everything is in Phoenix. And they trade her the next day without telling her. So I don't see that happening. I just think of all the teams out there for opportunity to play. If I'm Tosh Cloud, Phoenix is last on my list. But they could use somebody like her for sure. If Shea Petty doesn't stick in Connecticut because they are guard heavy,
They're guard heavy.
Petty back in Phoenix, they know what she is. She played
Mhm.
for Coach Nate, so I could see that working. Um, yeah, it'll be
I don't
they
know.
need an experienced guard, I think.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
then
Bygones be bygones, man. I don't know.
yeah,
Never say never though, and I hear what you're saying, and
yeah,
the jersey number, and then not letting her know, and everything like that. But
yeah,
wouldn't it be? I mean, this is just for me because Cloud was here in DC for 10 seasons, and
oh yeah, yeah,
she started her collegiate career at Maryland before going back to the Philly area to St. Joe's. So
mhm,
I've known her for a long time, and not
yep,
exclusively, but I've known her and her competitive spirit, and we kind of alluded to it on the last week's podcast, just about how is it that she's not on a roster, and not just in Phoenix, but any roster whatsoever in the league. And for me, even though those things may have transpired, I mean,
Mhm.
that was in the past. I don't know. I don't know if she'd be able to say, you know what? Hey man, I am cloud nine. People know me for that.
Mhm.
That is what it is. I don't think and I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to think like shoes on the other foot. Like if I'm
Yeah.
Tosh Cloud and that happened to me, and I am not on a roster right now, and I would like to play professionally. It's not her first rodeo in the league. She would be an asset in terms of her experience and overall fire
Mhm.
that she brings to the court on both sides. Asia
Mhm.
Wilson even said it. Someone asked her about it in the presser yesterday with the Aces, and she said, "Well, when Cloud played against us, she fried us." A lot left in the tank for Cloud Nine now. I don't know the timing of when she did the video of all the new things that were going on there in Phoenix. And then the next
Mhm.
day, they didn't tell her. I understand that. And I'm not saying take one for the team or take one for the league and just go
Mm.
hoop. If they say, hey, there's a spot for you here, I don't know. Like, I know how hard that would be for her to say no. I will say that.
Yeah.
And I
No, they have a
know
lot of
that
cap space. They have $2 million in cap space, so
that's what I'm
there's room
saying. But
depending on what they wanna do.
but I know that would be so difficult for her to say no to. And maybe I'm
Mhm.
speaking just from my perspective, and I don't know at all. But if they called me and said, hey, we have a spot for you, and I'm like, hey, man, the season starts in 10 days. I
Yeah.
want to hoop, and just to hoop. Like, do you say, yes, I'll come through? Or do you
Yeah.
say, nah, y'all did me wrong once. And that's what Maya Angelou said. Show me once and need to be shown 20 times. I get
Mhm.
it, and I get
Mhm.
that part too. But
Yep.
I'm such a Gemini that I have like an angel and devil. I see both sides, but
Yep.
shout out to her if that comes down the pike for her, and that's an opportunity, and that is an offer for her to come back to play in the league. Let me just sit back and watch and see what she does on that, because
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
I would be intrigued to see if Cloud would say yes to Phoenix after the exit that happened before.
Listen, Phoenix could also use Tina Charles. Remember, she left them as Brittany Griner was wrongfully detained in Russia
Right.
because she didn't like her role in the offense with BG gone. She was asked to play more five, and she went to
Yeah.
chase a ring with Seattle. So,
Yeah.
not the most ideal
Yeah.
circumstances. Fan base felt some kind of way, but Phoenix could use her. Do do the Mercury go back to Tina Charles and say, "Okay, new year, new scenario. You're the league's all-time leading rebounder. You're the only
So,
WNBA player that has a hook shot in your arsenal. Would you
yeah.
like to come play with us?"
Yeah.
That I would love to be a fly on the wall for that because
Yeah.
Tina can hoop. I
Yeah.
had her season 5, Athletes
Yeah.
Unlimited. She was fantastic, and she was
Yeah.
an amazing teammate. She was
Yeah.
organizing the group outings for the teams on
Oh,
Sunday, painting parties, top golf, like
I love
all of the
painting parties.
things.
Yeah.
And
Paint
was just
party.
has reached a point in her life where basketball is so joyful, and
Absolutely.
to watch her play that way,
Yeah.
she's such a huge talent and has so much left in the tank. Again, if Phoenix intends to meet these WNBA finals expectations that the fans are now used to, right? Because the team competed for a title in 21
They
and
did.
in 25. Like
Yeah.
this is the expectation of the season ticket holders. So
Yeah.
do you go after somebody like that? Kalani Brown is still not on a roster.
Oh,
Make that make sense. She tore it up in
she
China.
did.
Her
She
and
did.
Arike were just ridiculously good on the same team. So,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
I'm sorry, 6'8" don't grow on trees. Like,
No.
and she can move. Like,
No.
ever since she got back in the league, she has been
Yeah.
so good. So, yeah, a few head scratching names that could
I
bring
know.
so much help and really be the difference between, are you going to make the playoffs are you going to push for a title? Right?
Right.
Josh
Yeah.
Cloud, definitely in that category. When we're watching Raven Johnson defend Sarah Strong in Phoenix at the Final Four, who are we thinking of? Oh, she took that out of Tosh Cloud's bag, right? So somebody that can defend 1 through 5,
I'm
can bring the
saying.
ball up the floor, is a 3-level scorer, and it's
Yeah.
just a few years removed from leading the league in assists. Like,
Right.
Cloud
Yeah.
is the total package. It just now we have to fit her somewhere, and I hope for her a team that can compete at a high level, right? Make the playoffs, push for a championship
Right.
because she's only got the one on her resume.
Right.
Um, and see where the chips fall. But the league is better with Tosh Cloud on the floor. Period. Full
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I say all the time, cloudy with a chance of buckets. I mean, that's, it's just, I'm just saying, she is such a toughie. And I understand, um, how she may not want to, right? But
Mhm,
for me, and I'm speaking from a post player mentality, I love Too Cold. I love Tina Charles. That's why I call her Too
mhm,
Cold. I love
mhm.
TC. I love Tina Charles. And I think she would be an asset. Okay. And I also
Yep.
love Kalani Brown because post player. Listen,
Mhm.
I love them, and they know it too. And I tell them when I see them. However, I think Phoenix needs a guard like Tosh. Natasha
Mm,
Cloud is a two-way player. She has experience. It fits a need. Westbel's injured. Tasha Cloud fits the bill.
mm.
That's just me.
Yeah,
Okay.
listen, if she's in
That's
my
just me.
backyard, that gives me more incentives to go to games, right? Like,
I can't.
period.
And I understand the emotional piece of it. I understand it. I understand it more than you think I do. I get it. But at the same time, man, not only is the season starting, but I'm getting late in my career. Like, I don't
Mm,
want to sit out a year. Like, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So there's just so many different things. Like, just a hoop. Oh my God. Like, I get it, but I would be really intrigued, and I'm anxious to know. I know her name has been floating around. Apparently, we've seen in the last couple of days, like teams are
Mhm.
actively kind of mentioning her as having interest in putting Cloud on a roster. So we'll see if
Right.
that is Phoenix or somewhere else. So just
Mhm.
waiting to see on that. So you spoke also about Dallas. Let's go to Dallas and what they are forming to be. I mean, that is like just a lump of ceramic clay that's spinning. You just get it. What are you trying to form? Right.
Yep.
I'm looking at a vase my son made right there, and it's cute.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's what he wanted it to look like at the beginning. When he first started making it. Wait, let me get it. Wait, let me get it. Wait. Well, go ahead. But I'm just saying, for Dallas, what do you think? I'm going to grab it. But go ahead.
Dallas shooters everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Paige is bringing the ball up. She's got AZ on one side. She's got Arike on the other. That is a nice luxury to have.
Yeah,
Lee Yaru
It,
is also there. That's beautiful.
it's
I
cute,
love
right?
that.
I mean,
She is holding
who knew?
a
Was
vase
that
that
what
is,
he always
you can
wanted? Is that
tell
what
it's,
he wanted? It
yeah,
doesn't
it's made with
hold. I
love.
have my flowers in a regular vase because it leaks, but it's cute. But who knew? I don't know if he knew that this was going to be what he made when he put that lump of clay down. But go ahead.
But
But
isn't
it
that
is
what
cute.
art is all about? You
It
just
is.
you let
It's
the moment
beautiful.
take you and
Yeah.
yeah. So, I after
Yeah.
watching Fernandez in college, I know he loves three-point shooting, from reports from, the Dallas camp. He's already on AZ. You
I
don't pass
saw
up
that.
shots. If you pass up a shot, we're gonna have a problem. So, that
Yes,
memo is already been out and put up on the wall. So,
absolutely.
I think they're gonna get up
Yeah.
and down. They're gonna be high scoring. Uh,
Yeah.
for me, it's the defensive piece. Who can you stop?
Yes.
Because I think they competed in a lot of
Okay.
games last season when Paige was healthy, but they
Right.
only won
Right.
10. So that
Right.
means you gotta
Yeah.
slow down the opposition. And I'm very
Right.
curious to see the development of Lee Yaru. I
Yeah.
know Kurt Miller has loved her for a long time, had her in Los Angeles,
Yep.
and she has become such a better three-point shooter, like a
Yeah.
reliable three-point shooter. So
Yeah.
to take a big away from the basket, to give, you know, Arike or AZ or Paige even more room to operate is such a
Right.
luxury.
Yeah. Well, tell me this, like, before this season. So let's just go back to last season. I know there were injuries in and out, players just trying to get the
Mhm.
chemistry too, with Paige
Yep.
coming in as number one overall pick. What do you see for the chemistry of this year's team because of, even though it was a sample size, right, with Paige Beckers
Mhm.
and Enrique Agumawale, and what that duo looked like, and then expound to the point of adding AZ Fudd to the picture with a different coach, with, a different maybe style of play, and different tactical things. But what did you learn from seeing Enrique and Paige play? And then what do you think adding AZ to that mix of what you've discovered? What do you think that will look like this year?
I think it's gonna be fantastic, and for me, the linchpin to the whole deal was the signing of Odyssey Sims. Right
Okay.
there, you have a proven winner. She won at Baylor. She won at Athletes Unlimited this last season. She was champ. Like, she is a winner. You saw she almost got the Indiana Fever to the finals. Like,
I know.
she was the head of that snake,
Yeah. She
when
was so
all of the injuries piled up,
yeah,
who was
definitely.
helping Kelsey Mitchell? It was Odyssey. So
Yeah.
she had this winning mentality where
Mhm.
she doesn't have to be anybody's best friend. She doesn't need to
No,
sing kumbaya or braid
she
anybody's
doesn't.
hair. She's gonna
No.
arrive at the arena and be about winning and a
Yeah.
great mom to her little boy.
I
And
know.
that's her priority.
Mhm.
So I think it's a luxury that Arike is not gonna get bogged down bringing the ball up. Neither is
Okay.
Paige, neither is
No.
AZ. They can just function the way they want to as
Yeah.
scoring threats all over the floor because
Mhm.
O is there.
I love that. No, I love that. And, with AZ, I love the fact that Coach Fernandez said, "Hey, you can't be passing up shots. You have the neon green light out here." Because
Yep.
I've coached for a long time. I tell you all the time, like, there would be kids who I coached who didn't shoot at a highly effective percentage, right? Didn't have to tell them
Mhm.
twice to shoot that thing. They're firing that bam, 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 and not making them, man. I'm like, hey man, that's turnover. You draw that back a
Yep.
little bit, but you don't want to lose the edge. Like you don't want to say too much in like a, kind of calm that down or work on it and then take those shots. Like
Mhm.
you can't just be out here firing up. Anyway, I have
Yeah.
PTSD as a coach from that. Anyway, but there were other players who were skilled and were highly effective with a higher
Mhm.
percentage. And I remember I was going to put her up T. I'm just going to say T. I had to call
Mhm.
her over. It was almost halftime. It was like 2 minutes left in the first half. Other team was shooting a free throw, and she's in the back. I said, "Hey T, come over here a second." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Have you shot yet?" No. And I'm like, "Oh my wow, like you gotta shoot the ball, man. You gotta shoot the ball because she was a scorer. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
we need you
Mhm.
to do that, right? And I
Yes.
think I said something like that last time on the pod, and someone said something. I saw something on one of the comments. I saw something said the
Mhm.
narrative that I was trying to create for AZ, and I'm like, look, I don't even know who that was.
Mm.
Listen, but the narrative that I'm trying to create is shooters shoot the ball. I don't
Yes.
care what play you
Yes.
run. I don't care what, you know what I'm saying? Play breaks down. Shoot it before you turn it over.
Mhm.
And that's what Don Staley used to say all the time. Shoot that thing
Yep.
before you turn the ball over. Shoot the ball,
Yep.
man. And so I know, sometimes it's, scores are sometimes rhythm scores, rhythm catch and shooters. And I get that. You get the feet
Mhm.
right, and all the things, the timing from toes to fingertips.
Yep.
I get it. I get it. I get it. But you are there to do that, right? And I think the written invitation, which Coach Weller from Maryland used to always say, "Do you want a written invitation
Mhm.
to, go ahead and rotate on defense?" Like she would always say, "Do you need me to write it to you and put it in the mail and you open it up, like send you an email or something like that?" Like, but
Yep.
you
Yep.
you have to be aggressive. And I'm not yelling at AZ. I'm not in the practices. I don't know, but
Mhm.
I do know her from being here in the DMV from a little, and how she was a
Mhm.
killer, just a Kobe-esque striker from
Mhm.
all over the floor,
Yep.
unstoppable. just like a computer, like a video game, like boom, 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 boom. Like mechanics the same every time.
Yep.
Mechanics the same every time. So maybe she's just trying to get to that. So I don't think she's going to be a player in the WNBA that shies away from opportunities to be that. I think she's learning.
Mm.
So yes, when that came out about, hey, we need for you to shoot it. I get that as a coach because you want her like she does, like she's like the top. I think she shot 45% from three to lead the country at UConn this past season.
Mhm.
So man, shoot the ball. So I think she's just getting comfortable. I don't think she's shying away from utilizing her God-given talents. I don't think that's the case. I think that she's very cerebral in terms of how she
Mhm.
gets into her shots. And she's learning the new system with the new coach, new league, quicker closeouts because of who she's playing against at the pro level. But she's played USA basketball. This isn't anything new for AZ. But what is new is maybe her decisions and how quickly she's going to have to make those. And I don't think it's about shooting. I think it's decisions when and where to shoot it because she's going to shoot it.
Mm.
But now I think she's just
Yeah.
trying to find some comfortability in terms of rhythm of the offense, the schematics of it all on the offensive side for Dallas. But I think it's going to be lights out for her once she gets comfortable. And she's allowed that. She's human. Like, give her grace,
Mhm.
but also let that thing fly. Like, don't hold back. Like, shoot that thing, baby.
Yeah, I'm reminded
Shoot
of
it.
our friend Debbie Antonelli. Shoot
Shoot
till
it.
your arm falls off.
Shoot
Like
it, baby.
some
Yeah.
people just roll out the bed and make a bucket, and she is one of those people. So
She's
you
one of those.
definitely want her shooting. I
Yeah.
think once she appreciates the speed of the game
Mhm.
and the physicality, then she will be calculated and take this is what has always impressed me about
That's
AZ.
yes.
She does not take the good shot. She waits for the great one. And
Yeah.
whether that's herself or a teammate,
Yeah.
um, I've always been impressed with that. So that's going to
Absolutely.
take a minute at this level. But
Yeah.
I would argue since COVID, since the world shut down in 2020, the
Yes.
players that have left college and entered the WNBA have been plug and play at a rate we have never seen before.
Agreed.
There has always been an adjustment period or that one or two special players that just hit the ground running, like Brianna
Right.
Stewart, Maya Moore, Sylvia Fowles,
Yeah.
Tina Charles, they're just Candace Parker, just
Yeah.
hit the
That's my
ground
dog.
running and left skid
Yeah.
marks, right? But we didn't see that on the regular. And
Right.
now we see it regularly.
Yes.
And so I think Coach Fernandez is right with his expectation of I'm building this and you're a
Yeah.
key cog. Know that because that's how I'm building it.
Yeah.
So I love that
Yeah.
there's open communication. She knows what the
Yes.
expectations are. Now
Yeah.
she just has to go execute.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier said than done. And I know I'm not worried at all. Like I'm not like,
Mhm.
oh, is she going? No, I'm not in that space.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead
Yep.
and dismiss that notion. My thing is give her just a minute to watch some film on
Yeah.
like practice film, a couple preseason
Mhm.
game film, let her dissect it
Yep.
mentally and break it down and then go out there like a surgeon and knock shots
Yeah.
down in people's faces. That's what I can't wait to see because I know she's going to do it. It's just you just give her the time and grace. That's what she needs right
Yeah.
now. I mean, she had what 2 minutes in between the college season and the WNBA season. Number one overall pick. I mean, there were just so many things going
Mhm.
on. Let her nervous
With a
system
wardrobe
like
change. With
yeah,
a
let her
wardrobe change. Like
let her nervous system recalibrate, man. Like, give her a
yeah.
minute. Like, she had the party and all the thing, like all the stuff, like the makeup and hair. She had the glam, like to the 100th degree. Like, she had all those things going on. And then, okay, the very next day, you get into the camp. And now you got 15
Yep.
offensive plays and then counters to those plays. So you have 30 things to remember, maybe. You have all the plays, but then counters to each of those. Defensively, you're trying to it's a water hydrant you're drinking out of. Like, you're like, oh, snap. Like, what is going on out here? So
Mhm.
give her a minute. But I think she's going to be great.
Yeah.
I know she's going to be great. I have no reservations whatsoever on the upside of AZ Fun in the WNBA. Like, I just can't wait for
Yeah.
her to go ahead and just ride the roller coaster of it all. Just go. Just take it.
Mm.
And
Yep.
she's going to be great. I'm so excited for her too. I was crying when she got drafted. I was so excited because of the journey, that she
Oh,
has been on with
yeah.
injuries, and just knowing the underbelly of that and seeing her on the side, like doing all the extra work. And, it was
Mm,
something else when she was on the AAU team and all that. But it was, just seeing her
mm,
in a chair and shooting, or doing one arm push ups and dribbling, and
mhm,
doing push ups at the same time. I'm like, this kid, but then you see her get drafted number one. So all I saw was her when she was in 10th grade, right? When she was player of the year,
mm,
and she was coming off an injury in that summer, and how she had to fight back. And then getting hurt again in college, and then fighting back,
mm,
and then being the most valuable player of the Final Four when they won the championship in 25. And just all the build, right? And then to see her get up
mhm,
and go, oh man, that's gonna make me cry again, because it's like, people don't talk about what it takes enough. They just see what happened.
yeah.
Number one pick, AZ Fudd. I'm like, man, do you know everything that she's carrying on her back when she walks up those steps
Mm,
to be, to take the jersey of the number one overall pick? Do you understand the fight and the
mm,
tears and the frustrations and the uncertainties of that? And man, to see her
yeah.
every step was like just stronger, stronger up those steps. That's all I saw. It's like just stronger, stronger, all the things she was carrying all those years. So I didn't know I was gonna say all that, but I wanted to share. But anyway, that for me is like, that's the real deal. She's a real one for that. And I always wish the best for her. So I just had to put that out there. Cindy, sometimes
Mm,
I paint these things, and it's just, I just have to get it off my spirit. But I definitely felt that, I jumped up when I shouldn't have. And I was like, yes, but she got drafted. I was in like a media area. And I was like, I probably should have jumped up. But then I was like, literally like collecting myself, like, because it was personal, right? I
mm,
mean, not just for her, but
yeah.
for the game of life. So
Mhm,
it was
yep.
a beautiful, beautiful night. Anyway,
No, you felt
oh
something
God,
because
things went
both
down
you and
really
I have the
good.
privilege of yeah, but you felt something because both you and I
Yeah,
experienced the privilege of being part of their
yeah,
journey, of telling their
yeah,
stories, covering them
yes,
in college.
yeah,
And that's why
yes.
you felt even more connected because
It's
you've had a
insane.
front row seat for that journey.
I know. I know. It's just, sometimes I pinch myself, because it's just like, what is life really? Like, gently down the street, keep rowing the
Mm,
boat, man. You just see all these things, as you're going along. But it was a special night for sure. But I think Dallas, I mean, I think they're going to be an interesting team too. Just see all the pieces put together. We said
mhm,
last time, with Alicia Clark as an experienced provider of wisdom there with that team, I think is going to be a great addition
mhm.
as well. But what was the other team? I think you said
And the
LA.
red lip.
Yeah. And she had 20, right? She didn't miss a shot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. So that's cool. I know. But before we go, I know you said Rakia Jackson is off to Chicago. Let's just iron out Chicago
Mhm.
for a second before we hop off. I know we're getting close to our time here, but with Chicago and Rakia
Okay.
Jackson, what do you see from her there? What do you see them bringing to the table there for the Sky?
I think Chicago's tunnel fits will slay every day. Like, it will look like Paris Fashion
Right.
Week
You're right.
every single
You're
game
not
day.
wrong on that. Say
Home
that.
or away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
woo,
Say less.
baby.
Say less.
Skylar wants to win. I
Yeah.
was such a fan of Diggins when she was here in Phoenix, one of my favorite players to interview,
I love
one
her.
of my favorite players to just be around.
Yeah, same.
She is one of those folks that vibrates, right?
Yes.
There's such an energy that is palpable from
Yeah.
her when she
Yeah.
is playing this sport that we love that
Yeah.
is freaking awesome, right? Like
It
BG is
is.
wrongfully detained, right?
Yeah. That was
Everything's
tough
going
for
left.
her. That
And
was tough for her.
this woman is playing at an all-star level, makes an
I know.
all-star team,
Yeah.
and leads the team in scoring. Like whatever the team needed. And boy, does Chicago need that, right? Chicago
Yeah.
needs, okay, I got you. Coach Marsh, whatever you drop, I can do it, and I'll
Mhm.
play 2 ways. I got you.
Yeah.
So I think just a steadying force and something that
Yeah.
the fans can get excited about, right?
Yeah.
We keep
Yeah.
hearing Chicago is getting its act together and things are going to be different. And then it's kind of
Essentially.
like the same movie, different day. But I think with the players they signed and brought in,
Mhm.
this is a transformational opportunity. And Skylar Diggins is one of the few players in this league that will
Mhm.
hold them to account. She will
Yes.
go back and say, we were in a meeting on April 10th, and this is what you sound like. She keeps receipts. So if
Receipts.
they don't do it right, they're
Yeah.
not only gonna have to answer to their
Mhm.
fans, they're gonna have
Yeah.
to answer to their point guard, and I don't
Yeah.
think they wanna have that conversation,
Oh,
right? Like,
no.
they have an
No.
opportunity to reset here, and I can't think of a better guard to do it with than Skylar Diggins.
Yeah, no doubt. What's that? There's a meme or something. Don't start, no, won't be no. So do what you're supposed to do, right? And I'm not mad.
Drop those
I love.
bars.
Hey, listen. Hey, that's where I am. I'm not gonna throw an elbow, but if I catch one, you're gonna catch one right back. That's the
Mhm,
way I used to play. Like I'm not
mhm.
gonna start with the elbow throw on my end. Like, well, I look like I'm not gonna throw an elbow.
Yep.
But if you think you're gonna just elbow me and then I'm just gonna take that, no, I'm not.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
anyway, that's how she's built competitively as she should be, right? She's a needle mover. She's going to hold people
Mhm.
accountable. We've already heard from the
Yep.
front office there saying, we want to make sure we got Skylar Diggins list checked off. As you should.
Mhm.
There was a meme for that
Mhm.
too. Like, do y'all have the child
Yeah.
care I asked about? Do y'all have this, that, and the other thing because the apartment?
Mhm.
Like, we are
Mhm.
moms out here too. So that's
Yep.
your first thought. Like the basketball part, it probably comes second to everything that they need as people and moms and
Mhm.
parents. So I love the fact that she has this voice that she's not afraid to use, number one, but that she's standing in the gap for not only her kids, who are adorable as the
Mhm.
day is long, but she is standing in the gap for who she is as their mom, right?
Yep.
And as a leader. We're almost to Mother's Day. We're going to go ahead and give her Mother's Day flowers because there's something to
Yay.
be said for that, right? Outside of
Mhm.
the schematics and the pick and rolls on the court, and that will all come to fruition as they continue to work. We get that, but the bottom line and the foundational piece of this is who they are as people and what they deserve. We saw that with the CBA. We saw that with them being in that room for whatever it was, 20 hours to get the
Mhm.
job done. And it's for obviously the players who are playing now, but we were just talking about this earlier. They're stacking days and minutes for the next level and the next generation of players that are
Mhm.
watching them
Yep.
to see how they're fighting and to see what they're fighting for. And I think, it's not just, oh, watch out for Skylar because no, you watch out for
Mm-mm.
those 10-year-olds who are watching Skylar, who, you know what I'm saying? Who you need to be doing the best for as people and
Mhm.
as moms. So don't get me started on that because it's so much bigger than hoops. And, for women in sports and moms who are playing and competing in sports, like, come on, man. I can't even fathom doing that with littles
Mm.
like she has.
Yeah.
It's just remarkable. And the fact that she stands 10 toes down for what she knows the game needs, and not just the game of basketball, but the game of life as a mom
Mhm.
who gave life to those two babies. Do not play with me. Do not play with Sky. And do not play in our faces because it is time and it's been overdue for this platform for all of our WNBAers, our soccer players, our softball,
Mhm.
volleyball. Stand up. And it's time
Yep.
to use your voices in the way that she does. And I just think it's beautifully remarkable and it's iconic. And they're watching. Her kids are
Mhm.
watching. Those 10 and 12-year-olds, they're watching for a reason. And let's
Yep.
go. And keep going. Keep going. Because we couldn't do it back in the day. We all can. So just go. Go keep saying it. People are listening. People are checking boxes and checks, writing checks.
Mhm.
Talk to them. talk to them and let
Yep.
them know where the game is going and growing. We need it. We need it. We need it. Say something, Cindy, because I'm gonna keep going. Say
No,
something,
I totally agree because as
because
we
I
look
would
forward
go
to the
keep
30th
going.
season, the work is
Yeah,
not done. We're
it's
not
not
done.
done.
We're just getting started. We are getting a
Yeah.
taste of how amazing things can be.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
the product,
Absolutely.
as I always like to say, the product has never been the problem. Can you
No.
imagine what kind of megastar Diana Taurasi would be today had she had the attention on her like Caitlin
Dang.
Clark coming out of college? Because they played the same games.
Yeah,
Like,
the
I
NIL
remember
and yeah.
being at ESPN and highlights were being cut of Diana Taurasi at UConn, and the guys that were cutting the highlights and screening were like, "Oh, she hoops like a dude." Like she Oh, I see why
That's what they
Kobe called her the
said.
white mamba. Like
I don't know if you
she's
did.
slick with it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, yes, she is." Like she eats whenever she wants and she leaves no crumbs.
Right,
But
right,
nobody could see because at the time we had
right.
leadership at ESPN that was like, "Nah, women's basketball, I'm gonna vary it. I'm barely gonna give it any life whatsoever, even though it's our contract." Like,
Oh my
it's a
gosh.
miracle that Diana was able to have the career she
Yeah,
had. But what did
yeah.
she have to do? She had to go to Russia to make the money, right?
I
Had to do
know.
that for a dozen years and
I
still
know.
finished as the
Yeah,
WNBA's all-time leading scorer.
I love that.
So, back to my point, the product has never been the
Yeah,
problem. It's
yeah,
always been the promotion. And trust all the newbies that are in this, because we got a
yeah,
whole bunch of new helicopters flying in, right? Because people are
yeah,
paying attention.
that
I am
part.
watching. I am watching
Very
how you
interesting.
treat this product, and you
Yeah,
better treat it well.
you
I don't
better.
wanna see first-time broadcasters that have never called a WNBA game or an elite
Right,
5-on-5 women's college basketball game behind the mic.
right, right.
I wanna see more WNBA players as analysts. I love
Right.
what Amazon Prime has done. They just have
Um,
Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer
yeah,
after Hall of Famer to take us fans
yeah,
behind the velvet rope that is so important.
yeah.
CBS, they have 2 of the 3 Meeks, right? They got Shamika
Oh, yeah,
Holtzclaw
we got
and,
those yeah.
Tamika Catchings. So,
Yes,
good I love it. I
yeah,
cannot get enough of that as a fan. But don't
right,
short shrift the coverage. Don't
right.
think you can get away with something. And when you do this right, you'll be rewarded with eyeballs. You will.
Yeah,
But pay attention when those eyeballs
yeah,
drop because you're not taking care of your garden.
yeah.
I'm just
I
going to
mean,
say that out loud, right? Like
yeah,
these players, if you wouldn't do it for the NBA, don't do it for the WNBA. If
right,
you
right.
wouldn't hire somebody who's never called a basketball game before,
Mhm, mhm.
you wouldn't do that in the NBA. So
No,
why do you think it's okay in the W space? Those kind
right.
of conversations need to be had. And I wish there was somebody at the league level that could help the teams get consistent with how they provide the service for their fans. Like
Yeah.
Monumental Sports and the Mystics, you guys have been a leader for a long time
Oh,
because you've had pre and post game coverage and a
yeah,
sideline reporter. Like,
yeah,
and we're still here in the year of our Lord 2026. Not everybody has leveled up to that. Like,
yeah,
come on. This
yeah.
isn't hard. If you're going to do it the right way
Mhm.
and do it to serve the fan and to give the players their reward for all of the hard work they are
Wow.
doing because they are the product. Without them, we don't have a league. So
True.
if you can't do those 2 things, it's not a long list.
Right.
Serve the fan, serve the players.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah,
And we're watching. We are watching as
yeah,
fans who love
yeah,
this game and want to see it grow the right way. We are watching with our wallets and we are watching with our ability to go to games and
yeah,
if organizations aren't doing things the right way, we can pull that fund. Look at
yeah.
Target's numbers. Look at Wendy's numbers. Just a few little missteps and all of a sudden, wow, everything is in the red. We have that power as WNBA consumers. And I
Mhm.
implore everybody to hold all of the new stakeholders to account. We can't survive another era of a former boss that admitted wrongdoing at ESPN. Oh yeah, I buried that product. The
Oh,
league can't afford that. Not now, not with
yeah.
all this momentum. So we
Yeah.
need to make sure that we hold those stakeholders who have a
Mhm.
privilege. It's not a right, it's a privilege
Right.
to do the right thing.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that it was buried and it was publicly announced that the things were buried there. I
Oh
did not
yeah,
know that. Messed up.
one of the former bosses at ESPN admitted, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
ESPN2 barely got
I
time."
messed up. I
Didn't
did not know
I
that.
remember sitting in Sports Center meetings fighting, not
Oh,
for a
man.
WNBA highlight, for a 15-second promo for a game that was going to air on ESPN the next day. Like it was banana. You would think that I was asking
Wow.
my producer to carve out his kidney with a fork. No, sir. I just need 15 seconds to tell America that we have a WNBA game on our air. It
Wow.
was ridiculous. And I'm
I
so
didn't.
glad that things have changed. Now,
Yeah.
SportsCenter
Yeah.
will lead with the WNBA highlights. I
Yes.
almost passed out the first time I saw it. I didn't think that that was possible, honestly.
Wow.
All of the pushback that I endured in my 13 years in Bristol, I honestly did not think that was possible. And to
Wow.
see it
See?
happen, and not just for one team or one player, but on the regular,
Yeah.
made my heart beat just a little steadier. A
Wow.
I felt the ground underneath me a little more secure because
Right.
what I had hoped for was finally coming to pass.
Oh, baby. I
See,
did
you
not
thought
know
you could
this.
go. You thought you could go,
Now I'm
Christy.
sitting here
I
like
got
learning.
volume. That
Now I'm
was
sitting
just
here
chapter
learning.
1 of volume 1, baby.
I didn't even know. Like you're teaching me. I didn't know. And I wonder how many other people know, like the inner workings that you were in the room, right? At the table, with the chair pulled up to the table. So I didn't know that that was even the case. So wow, I'm
Yeah.
sorry for the game that happened. But now that the fans have told the story, they want to see
Yes.
these just iconic women get out there and hoop it up. There's no going back now, right? Toothpaste out of the tube,
Yep.
butterflies out of the cocoon, however you want to put it.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
is we're
yeah.
out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're train has left the station. We're not coming back. So
Yeah.
I just think it's I did not know that was the case. And if you're listening, you may not have known that either because I didn't even know it. But wow, just to see where the game has grown, and going to your point about DT and Diana Taurasi, and just
Mhm.
oh my God, just she's my favorite player in the WNBA.
Oh,
And I know Maya
same,
Moore's up there,
same.
two
Yep.
catchings, man, like,
Yep.
but not, and
Swoop.
it's DT
Yeah.
because I'm like, hey, if it came down to it, that's why I wanted to have the last shot. Period.
Mhm.
I need DT, and I know she was only one time named MVP, but that doesn't make you a good or bad player.
No.
Her fortitude is who I am looking at when I want the game won, and if
Mhm.
she takes it and misses it, I'm good because that's
I live
that's the
with it.
only
Yeah.
person I want shooting it.
Oh, amen,
The only
amen.
one. Only
That's the
one.
next statue that needs to go up
My
out
dog.
in front of Mortgage Matchup Center. That
Where's that at? Where is that? When are we getting that?
at
Hey, man.
Phoenix. It's
Come
gotta go be Phoenix. Yeah, like, come on.
on, man. Is there an email on that?
The
Is
I
that
haven't
planned?
seen
Is
an
that
email.
July 4th?
The
That's
official
how it
jersey
works.
retirement is in mid-August.
Okay.
But yeah, if there is
Go ahead and do the
anybody
statue. The
that
statue
deserves a
popping.
statue, yeah,
Get the statue popping for DT. Let's go ahead
that's
and we
all.
get
And
Beyonce, who called you
please
earlier.
don't
Get
have the
Beyonce to call
person
in.
who did Dwayne Wade's do it. Just don't call them. Call the Stu Bird sculptor.
Hey, man.
Call the
Hey,
Asia
man.
sculptor.
Hey. When you said that, all I saw was D Wade looking at his son like, hey, man, it's not good.
Listen,
That's
it
so-
just woo, baby.
that was No, yeah, they have to get a new person. Get the one that did
Yeah.
Asia Wilson's in South Carolina. There you
Yes.
go. And
Or
Dawn's.
2.
Get the one.
Sue's turned out
Yeah.
really good. Dawn, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Yeah.
and call them as contractors because the one with D Wade,
Simone's,
yeah,
listen to
Moniz is
us.
really
We are
good.
talking about a
Yeah,
handful of statues for women's basketball
yeah.
players.
I know.
A
Look at us.
handful. And
Good.
more on the way. We couldn't
Yes,
talk about
exponentially.
this as kids, right?
No,
Like,
no,
this next
no.
generation is gonna have it so much better,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
just makes my heart smile.
Yeah, something to look up to, literally and figuratively. We need that. And
Mhm.
Cheryl Miller, we need one for her too. May as well just start making
Yes,
a list.
100%.
Let's
Yeah,
make a
yeah.
list because get
Cheryl
Cheryl Miller
Swoops.
just do.
Yep,
And so all
yep,
of them. Like, what are we
yep.
doing? At least now Houston's going to have a team after this year with Connecticut moving to Houston. So maybe Cheryl Swoops and all of them. Yeah, they're going to get
Well,
Tina
if
Thompson,
they
all them.
will they be the Houston Comets? There's that little
No,
snafu with the, copyright
that's,
lapsing in the
come
office
on.
there at WNBA
Just
headquarters.
No, just spell it in a different way. We're the Comets. Yeah, and get Beyonce back on the phone. Get Beyonce back on the phone. She's down
Right.
there, H Town.
Beehive
Amen.
rally
We're gonna
in 3, 2, 1. We
we're gonna
ride
fix
at
it.
dawn.
We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it anyway. Oh my God, we're cutting up.
Right?
Okay, B Max probably like, hey y'all, wind it up. All right, we're gonna get up. B Max had the last song getting us out. Okay, but no. Cindy, my girl, always a pleasure to catch up with you. Hopefully in the gym this summer, we see each other somewhere, but definitely in the fall. I know we're gonna be connected again, which I love. So I cannot wait for that. B Mac. Thank you so much, my friend, the producer extraordinaire for our Her Hoop Stats podcast. And for you guys, thank you guys for joining us today on the Her Hoop Stats podcast network. That's it for us. Cindy, any parting words for the people?
Just enjoy the season. This is going to be epic. It has the opportunity to be the most competitive WNBA season to date. And I literally cannot wait. I got the seatbelt strap. I got the popcorn ready. Let's ride.
Same. Same over here. Let's get it cracking and let's get busy. I cannot wait to see these rosters materialize, boil them down to what you're going to take into the regular season that starts on Mother's Day. Oh no, on the 8th. But Mother's Day is the first game here in DC. That's why it's in my head. So I'm trying to do brunch things with my mom. I'm trying to get the schedule together, y'all. Anyway, we're going to do it probably on the 9th though. But anyway, we're going to do it anyway. But much love to you, my friend. Safe travels. I know you're there having a little vacation right now, you said?
A little bit.
Something like that. A little something. Okay, we're gonna leave it right there where it was. Okay. B-Mac, thanks again, my friend. Cindy Brunson, always a pleasure, my friend. And for you guys, appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys next time right here on the Her Hoop Stats Podcast Network. I'm Christy Winter Scott, and we'll see you guys next time.